Hello dear students, in previous 3 lectures I gave you some tools in term of some basic needs, that's are electronic configuration, periodic table, chemical bonding, hybridization and BSPR theory, and redox reaction. Now you will see the application of and also benefit of these tools in the coming chapters. Today I am going to start unit 1 solid state. I have divided this unit into 5 parts. Today I will focus on part 1. Before starting part 1, I want to discuss about the topics which you have to know in this chapter according to CBSE board. That topics are given as follows: classification of solids based on different binding forces. It may be on the basis of binding forces, molecular solid, ionic solid, covalent solid and metallic solids. Then you have to focus on amorphous and crystalline solid. Only elementary idea you have to know about this. Then unit cell in 2-dimensional, that is 2D, and 3-dimensional 3D lattices. Lattices is a type of network in which the arrangement of particles can take place and give the geometry. The geometry is also known as crystal lattice. Calculation of density of unit cell. As you know that density equal to mass by volume. Packings in solids. Packing efficiency. Voids, that is empty space. Number of atoms per unit cell in a cubic unit cell. Then point effect, electrical and magnetic properties. Then band theory of metals, conductors, semiconductors and insulators, and N and P type semiconductor. Now you know that solid is a state of matter, and you know that matter is anything that occupies space and have mass, and we can use at least one sensage out of 5 senses to identify the matter. You also know that matter is of 5 types: BEC, that is Bose-Einstein condensate, second solid, then liquid, then gas, and lastly plasma. Out of these 5 type of matter, Three common matter is solid, liquid and gas. In class 12th, you have to focus on only one type of matter, that is solid. Now you know that solid may be defined as that form of matter which possesses rigidity and hence possesses a definite shape and definite volume. Here rigidity means resist deformation. One more thing you have to know, as solid have definite mass, volume and shape, then you have to know the reason behind this. So this is due to the fixed position of their constituent particles. These particles may be atoms, ions or molecules, short distances and strong interaction between them. One more thing you have to know about the solid. Solid state is a least chaotic state, that is least disorder, that is entropy. Now I will start part 1. In this part 1, I will discuss about following topics. First, classification of solids, that is on the basis of nature of order present in the arrangement of their constituent particles. Basically, there are two types, amorphous and crystalline. Second, classification of solids, that is crystalline solids. These classification on the basis of nature of interaction between their constituent particles. It may be molecular solid, ionic solid, metallic solid and covalent solid. And then question based on amorphous, crystalline solid and classification of solid, that is crystalline solid. Now classification of solid on the basis of nature of order present in the arrangement of their constituent particles. Particles may be atoms, molecules or ions. Solids are crystalline and amorphous. Now look the diagram. Your left side show the crystalline solid and right side show the amorphous solid, and focus on the arrangement of solid, that is the arrangement of particles. In crystalline solids, the particles arrange in regular way, and in amorphous solid, the particles arrange in irregular way. That is the basic difference between the crystalline solid and amorphous solid. Now you know some more points about crystalline solids that are given. Ordered arrangement of particles. Particles may be atoms, molecules or ions. Second, long range order. Third, anisotropic. This means physical properties such as refractive index, electrical conductivity have different values in different direction. This is due to different arrangement of particles in different direction. And lastly, sharp melting point. That is, if the melting point of any compound is 30 degree or 40 degree, so that means at 30 degree or 40 degree that solid are melt. There are so many examples of crystalline solids. Some examples are common salt, glucose, sugar, KCl, iron, gold, etc. Now come on the amorphous solid. You have to know little bit about the amorphous solid. Here, first, irregular arrangement of particles as seen in the diagram. Short range order. Isotropic. Here the physical properties such as electrical conductivity, refractive index have same values in different direction. Lastly, melt over a range of temperature, that is, they do not have sharp melting points. Just like we taken the example of plastics. When we heated the plastic, first of all plastics become soft and then start melting. That's why amorphous solid do not have sharp melting point. The some common examples of amorphous solid are given below in the heading amorphous solid. Glass, rubber, plastics are the typical example of amorphous solid. Some more example you can add it: wax, charcoal, coke. These are also example of amorphous solid. Amorphous solid are also known as pseudo solid or super cool liquid. Now we have to focus on classification of crystalline solid, which you have to learn in detail. On the basis of nature of interaction between their constituent particles, they can be divided into four categories, namely ionic solid, metallic solid, covalent solid, and molecular solid. Here you can use a tool chemical bond to learn and understand these type of solids. First, ionic solid. As the name indicate, ionic solid, so that means the constituent particles are ions and these are held together by ionic bond, that is also known as electrostatic force of attraction. As you know that ionic solid is very strong, that's why they are very hard and brittle. Ionic solid in solid state are insulator because their ions are not free to move, but when dissolved in aqueous solution or in molten state, ionic solid are good conductor because ions are free to move. Next, melting points. As you know that the force is strong, that's why they have high melting points. Examples you can learn: S block elements when combined with group 15, 16 and 17 elements, they form ionic bond, that is the ionic bond formed between metals and non-metals of high electronegativity generate ionic bond. Some common examples are given here: NaCl, ZnS, calcium fluoride, MgO, etc. Now second solid is metallic solid. As the name indicate, these solids are made up of metals. Here the particles are held together by metallic bond and the constituent particles are metals, kernel in the sea of mobile electrons. When metals are heated, metals lose outermost electron the left portion, that is kernels and electrons, a bond is formed. That bond is known as metallic bond. Here the electrons is mobile and free to move. Metallic bond is also a strong bond. That's why they are hard. And metals are malleable and ductile. Electrical conductivity, they are good conductor of electricity, either in gas state or solid state or liquid state, due to presence of free and mobile electrons. Melting point is fairly high. Examples are all the metals D block, F block, S block and LYH. Some common examples: copper, silver, gold, iron, Mg. These are the some examples given here. Next solid is covalent solid. As the name indicates, here the bond is covalent bond and the particles are basically atoms which are belong to non-metals. Due to covalent bonding, these bonds are directional in nature. That's why these bonds are hard. Electrical conductivity, except graphite, they are insulator. Graphite is conducting because of free fourth valence electron between different layers. Graphite show conductivity. Graphite also have one more property. Graphite also work as lubrication because one layer can slip over other. Examples are covalent solid: diamond, graphite, quartz, SiO2, carborundum, silica, silicon, ALN, carborundum SiC, boron nitride, Bn. These are the common examples of covalent solid. Carborundum is also known as artificial diamond. These solids are extremely hard and hence used as abrasive. Covalent solid is also known as network solid, giant molecules, atomic solids, because atoms are the constituent particles. Now lastly, molecular solid. As the name indicates, the solid is made up of molecules. So that's why the constituent particles may be atoms in case of inert gas or molecules. These molecules or atoms are held together by van der Waals force of attraction, dipole-dipole interaction and hydrogen bond. Due to weak force, these solids are soft and also insulator because of no charge separation it take place. The common example is ice, I2, P4, S8, naphthalene, solid CO2, that is known as dry ice, camphor, naphthalene. These are the common example of molecular solid. Molecular solid are of three types: non-polar, polar and H bonded solid. In non-polar molecular solid, the bonding force is dispersion or London forces. The common example of non-polar solid are inert gas and non-polar molecules such as Cl2, H2, I2, etc. Second, non-polar molecular solid. The bonding force is dipole-dipole interaction. The common example of these molecules are the molecules having difference in electronegativity, that is HCl, SO2, urea, etc. Third type of molecular solid are H-bonded solid. Here the attractive force or bonding force is hydrogen bond. The common example of these solid is ice and dry solid ammonia. So these are basically the classification of crystalline solid. These solids and their property you can understand very well on the basis of chemical bonding. Now, after reading and understanding this part, we have to solve some questions based on the amorphous solid, crystalline solids and classification of crystalline solids. Question number 1. Why are crystalline solids anisotropic? So the answer is crystalline solids are anisotropic in nature because of different arrangements of particles in different direction. Here the particles are arranged different direction. That's why some of their physical properties like electrical conductivity, refractive index, etc. shows different values in different direction in the same crystal, and this property is known as anisotropic. That's why crystalline solids are anisotropic in nature. Second question. Some of the glass objects recovered from ancient monuments look milky instead of being transparent. Why? Do you know about this also? Some of the glass objects from ancient monuments look milky instead of being transparent because it undergoes heating during the day and cooling at night. This process is known as annealing. Over a number of years, this takes place. As a result, this acquire some crystalline characters and hence they look like milky. They become a bit opaque. Question number 3. Why is glass considered supercooled liquid? The glass, as you know, that is a amorphous solid. Here the answer is glass is considered as supercooled liquid because glass is an amorphous solid and has tendency to flow but slowly like liquids. That's why it is also known as supercooled liquid. Now question number 4. Give an example each of molecular solid and ionic solid. Here as the name indicate, molecular solid means the compound made up of molecules, and the ionic solid means the compound made up of ions. So some common examples are HCl, SO2, H2O, CO2. You can write any one. In ionic solid, NaCl, KCl, copper sulfate, ZnS. These are the common example of molecular solid and ionic solid. Question number 5. Which one of the following is an example of molecular solid? This type of question also may be arises. CO2 or SiO2. So CO2 belong to molecular solid and SiO2O belong to covalent solid. That is the answer. Question number 6. Write a feature which will distinguish a metallic solid from an ionic solid. So here, on the basis of conductivity, you will differentiate metallic solid from ionic solid. Metals are good conductor in the solid state, liquid state and gas state because of presence of free electrons. Free, and also you can write mobile electrons. But in solid state, ionic solids are electrical insulator because ions are not free to move about. That is the basic difference between the metallic solid and ionic solid. Question number 7. What type of interactions hold the molecule together in a polar molecular solid? Here the name indicate the molecular solid are polar, that's why they contains dipole-dipole interaction. Hence the answer is strong dipole-dipole interaction hold the molecules together. Question number 8. Stability of a crystalline solid, that is crystal, is related to magnitude of its melting point. How? That means how can you define that कि melting point show the stability of crystalline solid? The answer is higher the melting point of a crystalline substance, that is greater the force of attraction between their constituent particles, and hence greater is the stability. So that type of question may be asked in the board examinations. So you have to learn this part properly and also do questions from NCERT and text question, exercises, and also see the example. Lastly, stay safe and stay learning. Thank you.